Okay, I'm going to talk about today Lindsay Mitchell and the welfare state. She says is unsustainable economically, socially, and morally. Well, this is interesting because this is uh, Karen Shaw of the ACT Party is very caught up with Oranga Tamariki. So let's see what Lindsay says. It's a great piece she's written here, so I want to just go through it with you. One of the reasons Oranga Tamariki exists is to prevent child neglect. But could the organisation itself be guilty of the same of neglecting children? Yeah. Oranga Tamariki statistics show a decrease in the number and age of children in care. Quote, there are less children in care now than at least 30th than as at the 30th of June 2019, when there were 6,450 children and young people in care and protection custody and 140 in the youth justice custody, a total of 6,590 children in care. As at the 30th of June 2023, there were 4,317 children and young people in care and 162 in the youth justice custody, a total of 4,479 children in care. So we're looking at the difference between 6,450 and 4,479. That's a big drop, says Lindsay, of almost a third. One particular interest, though, she says, quote, recent changes in practice have seen a decline in the number of children being brought into care, particularly in the under 5 years age range. Okay, unquote. On the face of it, says Lindsay, this sounds positive, but not one to take anything at face value. I want to know what it actually means. Oranga Tamariki and the New Zealand Police both perform the statutory roles of child protection. It is now possible to interrogate police victimisation data and look specifically at children aged 0 to 4 who were victims of crime. In the following graphic, the year June 2018 to June 2019, as per the Oranga Tamariki data above, is selected. So you can't read that because it's blurry. But she interprets it for us. That's Lindsay. She says there were 891 acts intended to cause injury perpetrated against 0 to 4-year-olds. The ethnic information is limited and inconclusive, given 4.55 had ethnicity not stated. Well, why do you think ethnicity is not stated? Well, it's obvious, because they don't want you to know that it's Maori. Next, I move the time period forward to the year 2022 in June to June 2023. Again, you can't read the graphic. There were 1296 acts intended to cause injury perpetrated against the same age group. That's an increase of 45%, with no equivalent rise in the size of the demographic. The group with no stated ethnicity has climbed further to 69%, though where ethnicity is recorded, the usual disproportionality remains. So over the 4-year period in question, there were fewer under 5-year-olds taken into care, which can actually mean they come under the care of the state but remain with their caregiver, and more acts against them intended to cause injury. Which then begs the question, were injuries or worse sustained? Here I'm unable to isolate just the 0 to 4-year-old age group, but the under 15-year-old serious assault resulting in injury rose from 1820 to 2438 over the exact period, a 34% increase. But back to the preschoolers, almost 1,300 acts intended to cause injury equates to more than 3 every day against the very young and the defenceless. Oranga Tamariki data implies the situation is improving, whereas the police data implies the situation is deteriorating. They can't both be right. That's exactly right. And the reason is that Oranga Tamariki is hiding the statistics, putting stuff under the carpet so that they're trying to not criticize Maori. Is the rate of intentional injury increasing for the very reason that Tamariki is taking fewer children into its state care? If the answer is yes, then the whole drive to leave mainly Maori children with their family or with their extended family for cultural reasons is flawed. How do we know it is Maori children being hurt, given police's growing propensity to omit victim ethnicity? Data from the Health New Zealand confirms ethnic disproportionality. So we're going to go to Health New Zealand to get some truth here. From their data, it is overwhelmingly, she says, Lindsay, it is overwhelmingly Maori children who are hospitalised due to domestic violence. A recent op-ed published in The Post and elsewhere, written by a regular columnist and past Greens Maori Party staffer, criticised Karen Choa's move to repeal Section 7AA of the Oranga Tamariki Act. It claims there is no empirical evidence to support this decision. So there you go. There they are, as usual, lying, deceiving, not telling the truth. Because Lindsay says it is overwhelmingly Maori children who are hospitalised due to domestic violence. Then Lindsay says, I beg to differ based on Police and Health New Zealand data. Then he, that's the Green Party staffer, Maori Party staffer, says, by Maori, for Maori services such as Whānau Ora have extraordinary success working alongside Oranga Tamariki to place children in safe, secure and culturally appropriate care. If the last statement is correct, then we can only assume matters could be even worse than they are. That Maori children could be even more disproportionately victims of violence. That is currently the case. To accept that that scenario is a positive trend would need to be evident. So a positive trend is not evident that things are getting better. The trend is that things are getting worse for Maori children in Maori homes, which is what we get from Oranga Tamariki. You get that it's getting better, but not from the police, it's getting worse. I don't mind being wrong, but it feels like the safety of Maori children is being neglected, perhaps even sacrificed, to prove a political point, that culture matters more than care. Well, there you go. These bureaucrats in Wellington who are involved with Oranga Tamariki putting together reports are not being honest, they're being deceitful. And the reason is that they don't want to put Maori in a bad light. They don't want to make it to tell you the truth about Maori, that little children, little Maori kids are getting beaten up in Maori homes. And all Karen wants to do is say that a Maori child should go to any home where it's a safe home and a good home. And it does not have to be in a Maori home. There can be any ethnicity who looks after children and fosters them. And you know what? She's 100% right.